edition of the Awesome Sauce EDU podcast, vodcast, blogging show. My goal is to highlight the awesome sauce in the classroom, how you can bring some awesome sauce to your own classroom as well. This is the second episode of kind of that transition from the Kansas Moonshot podcast, which I was doing, I've been doing for the past year and a half, and I'm transitioning into the Awesome Sauce EDU podcast. The whole reason for the transition is the Kansas Moonshot is still a part of what's important to me. I love what we're doing in the state of Kansas. However, it doesn't encompass everything I do in the classroom. And so I wanted a more all-inclusive podcast so that I'm not just tied down to just the redesign stuff we're doing. I want it to be tied to all sorts of different ways to bring awesomeness to your classroom, whether it's through video creation or podcasting or blogging or any other form of awesomeness. So having it all under the umbrella of Awesome Sauce EDU helps tie it all together and gives me more freedom and flexibility to share out and try out some different things. So in this episode, I have a couple of things I wanted to talk about. First of all, if you're watching this on YouTube, check out, I did a YouTube live a couple of minutes ago just to try it out, and I may be launching into some more YouTube live streaming sessions. It's a great platform, but I'm still trying to learn what that looks like. So if you have any tips, please give me a shout out on Twitter at TeachLikeANinja. I would love any tips for how to do a good live stream on YouTube, especially the best ways to do like an overlay. I've used OBS a little bit, but any tips or tricks would be awesome, especially any of you gaming streamers, anyone who uses Twitch or anything like that. I would love any advice or suggestions. If you're listening on the podcast, definitely check out my YouTube channel, because all of my podcasts now are also video shows, and you can see the live, real me as I'm talking through this process, which means I don't edit a whole lot out, because you know what? It is what it is. I am who I am. And so you get all the and all the everything that's included in that. It is what it is. As I tell my kids, you know what? Just dive in. Just try it out and just share it with the world. I think we get too caught up in trying to make things perfect that we limit a lot of what we can do. Which brings me to one of the first things I wanted to talk about today. And it is in my book, Awesome Sauce. Woo! But one of the things that I love about video creation, but it applies to just about anything, is I give myself 3 attempts when I create a video. It's called the rule of 3. And the way the rule of 3 works is you get 3 shots to create an amazing, spectacular video. And that is it. When I created my first YouTube video for my students, I spent hours trying to make it perfect. Like, I had edits and I had cuts in it, and I had I tried to get the lighting just perfect, and I tried to make sure every single thing was perfect. And sure enough, I showed it to my students, and I was sure they were going to be impressed with this video. Within about 10 seconds, they were like, Mr. Stock, did you know that your cat walked through the background of your video? Did you know that at the 22-second mark, you said that word wrong? And I realized that nothing is ever perfect. And so the more I focus on trying to make a perfect video, the less likely I am to get that content out there. So I give myself 3 attempts, and then I upload whatever it is that I have created. And that's scary sometimes. That's intimidating to say, oh no, what happens if it's not perfect? Here's the secret. It's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be the best version that you can offer at that moment. And a year down the road, your best version will hopefully be improved. So I'm okay with sending out the best version I've got at the moment. And that's 3 shots, 3 attempts, and then I upload it to YouTube. There are a couple of exceptions. Like if it's something that's super important, or if it's a video that I know that I'm going to use for the next 5 years, like it's something that I really want to make sure is something that I can reuse over and over, I may give myself 4 or 5 additional, like go up to 5 attempts I know it's breaking the rules, but as a general rule of thumb, 3. Okay? 3 different, 3 attempts. All right. Now that is it. That is all I've got for right now. One final thing. I said there were a couple of things I wanted to talk about, but one final thing that I wanted to talk about is teacher moves. So I do a blog each week, and one of the things I'm trying to highlight are the teacher moves that I make each week. And sometimes I don't think about the fact that I make these moves. So I've been teaching. This is my 13th year of teaching. And any of you who have been teaching for a while know that there are little things you do throughout the day that you've just learned over time. Well, this is probably the way I need to handle this situation. And when you're first starting out, you don't know all those things. And when you've been in it for a while, you forget that you didn't know all those things when you first started out. So I'm trying to highlight some of those teacher moves I make that, and they're not always perfect, but some things that I are going through my mind as I'm teaching. So this week, one of the teacher moves I made, I was teaching a lesson. And as I'm teaching the lesson, I am noticing that, so I had the students take it's like a quiz, but it's really just a skills check to see what they knew on their prefixes and suffixes. I told them, especially this year, it wasn't for a grade. The grade is, did you complete it? Did you make an attempt, your best attempt at this prefix suffix skills check? But what I found is the way I ordered my class, the way I ordered the activities made it so that not everyone finished that skills check, and the activity that I had before it, they weren't completing that as well. So that was in my first hour that I taught it. The next hour, all I did was I reordered the activities. That's it. Just sometimes it's not about what you're teaching. Sometimes it's just the order that you do it in. If you just swap some things around, you're going to have a lot more buy-in, and it's going to have a better flow to your day. So I just swapped a couple of activities, and what I found is it allowed more flexibility for the students to work at their own pace because I wasn't having to stop them to introduce the next activity. It also got them to get those tasks completed. I got more students who completed those tasks because of just swapping a couple of them around. So if your lesson isn't going the way you want it to, consider, well, maybe it's not what I'm doing. Maybe it's just I need to change out the order that I'm doing it in. Or maybe I need a break in between these two activities. Or maybe I'm doing too many activities in one day, and maybe I need to push one of them to tomorrow and then restructure it. So my teacher move focus this week is, how can you restructure what you're doing if it's not going well? All right, that is it. I am by no means an expert on this, but this is just what I've learned over 13 years of teaching. So again, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, please reach out to me. The best way to reach out to me is on Twitter at teachlikeaninja. You can also email me, teachlikeaninja@gmail.com. You can also find me on just about any social media platform. I am diving into TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at Teach Like a Ninja. I also have my student side, which is at Mr. Stock Rocks on Instagram, which I'm not very active on Instagram. I need to up my Instagram game. I do have some student TikToks that I'm shouting out to my students. Twitter, all of that is at Mr. Stock Rocks. So that's it. Like I said, we're making this transition to the AwesomeSauce EDU podcast, blog, vodcast, video show, you name it. It's going to be all in one. Maybe I need to do a show all about that. Just all about why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's it. That's what I'm going to do on my next show is I'm going to talk to you about workflow and why I'm doing the things I'm doing, why I'm ordering the things I'm doing, how I'm streamlining sharing this media out with all these different platforms. So that's it. Until next time, book forward and be awesome.